Hey, if you haven't heard the news yet, there's a Patreon. I want to thank Nico the Proto for becoming my first ever patron. It means a lot to me. If you'd like your name in the credits for my videos going forward, please be sure to donate. Appreciation to all my viewers regardless, on with the video. As a FNaF fan, I've spent a lot of time getting to know different types of people who make up the FNaF community, be they content creators or just regular fans. I like to think that I'm able to understand the type of fan someone is, whether they're deep in the trenches like I am, or if they just have a passing interest. So I decided to do something about it. This is what your favorite FNaF animatronic says about you, part 1. If this video does well, I'll make a part 2. But for this, I wanted to limit myself a little bit. So we're only going to be doing FNaF 1, 2, and 3, which still gives us a lot of characters to work with, so let's get this started the right way. Foxy. If your favorite FNaF character of all time is Foxy, there's really only two possibilities. The first is you have a passing remembrance of the first game and haven't really been all that involved with the community in a long time. This may even be the first video you've seen since you played the game in the first place. You might not have even played it, but instead saw others play it. Like Markiplier. Foxy was, after all, the first character to ever kill Mark in a game. The other possibility is you are a FNaF lore professional, and sifting through the sand you've realized that a lot of these characters just really suck. But Foxy? He never gave up on you. You and Foxy will be eternally based. Try as many might to call him overrated, you know that's not really true. He's easily one of the most constant threats in the first game. He's arguably the scariest character, and struck such a chord with fans here that there's not really been a game he's absent from since. And yes, I am including Roxy as a version of Foxy. I mean, look, Chica. You do not exist. Just kidding, but Chica is very rarely anyone's first choice for a favorite character, being a mirror to Bonnie with a lot less aggression and even an obvious tell that her counterpart lacks. Now, I love Chica, especially after the FNaF movie, but in that first game she really does get upstaged. If you love Chica, you're probably the type to seek out those underloved characters. You want to know more about them. But there is a flip side to this. You probably way overcompensate. Chica is great and she is a classic, she's not going to be forgotten anytime soon, but she's not the secret best character or anything. Bonnie. If your favorite is Bonnie, I'm going to assume you're either A, gay, or B, someone who appreciates FNaF for its gameplay and only that. That first game is pretty tight, just like Bonnie probably appeals to you because at the end of the day, he's likely your first scare. He's the one who moves the most, who you lost track of so many times. And he might even be your first jump scare. If there's one thing you probably never shut up about, it's how underrated he is as a character. Trust me, we get it, you're not talking about Chica here. But your good qualities almost certainly outweigh the bad. If Bonnie's your favorite, you might be an artist or content creator. I mean, think of how many of us use rabbit personas, including me. Freddy. If Freddy is your favorite, you are either a Funko executive about to make another fucking plush, or you have no actual knowledge of the series itself. Usually you're both. Jokes aside, Freddy is definitely the most boring pick. But honestly, I do get it. At the end of the day, he is the single hardest character in that first game to avoid, and honestly wouldn't really be matched for a long time after the series. He was the perfect main antagonist because everything he did in total style. And of course, all these years later, with so many different iterations, he's still the definitive face of the entire series. That said, if he's your favorite, it's probably just because you're only now getting into it. You might have seen him in the movie or just remembered him on the title screen, both of which are valid reasons to like him, but still, I promise you, you will find other options. It's hard to really ascribe any personality traits to you, but if there's one thing specific, it's this. You are brave if you let others know this white bread opinion. Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy fans are among some of the most annoying FNaF fans ever, those usually being theorists of some kind. You're a self-appointed lore expert, and you have your own wacky idea of who Golden Freddy is actually possessed by. Chances are you're a book reader, and you haven't actually played one of the games in many years. One thing's for certain, you have definitely lied about encountering Golden Freddy in the past, and may have an entire story to go along with it. If you have any positive traits though, you are probably insanely fun to theorize with and discuss the story. However, God forbid anyone disagree with you, or they will find out just how obnoxious you can truly be. You aren't the worst kind of fan, and you definitely do care about the series, and you want to introduce new people to it, but you're also your own little cult leader. Endo01. You've played FNaF AR. That's really just about it. Endo01 didn't really reach the fame they have now until that title, where every piece of promo material used the exact same fucking render of him looking absolutely toasted. In my eyes, you're definitely a shitposter, and you find it hard to limit yourself with the idea of a favorite character. So you just picked whatever you thought was funniest. You're probably alright to talk to, definitely not boring, definitely less funny than you may think. But hey, you're decent. Alright, that's all of FNaF 1. Now on to FNaF 2, where there's a lot more. Toy Freddy. If your favorite animatronic in the entire series is Toy Freddy, you are absolutely a terminally online shitposter, who also happens to be actually trapped in time in 2018. You might insist you like Toy Freddy for reasons that aren't Daco meme reviews, but we know the truth. Trust me. I'll be real. I like Toy Freddy too, just nowhere near as much as you do. You have definitely made this character your profile pic at some point, probably with badly photoshopped deal with it glasses. You think you're way funnier than you actually are, but deep down you get why people have fun with these games. They're inherently goofy. You're probably more in touch with Scott's sense of humor than others, but you still definitely think Exotic Butters is top tier comedy. Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie has got to be the safest option among the toy animatronics. You're neither simping nor are you trolling, but you are also gay. Yes, if Toy Bonnie is your favorite, I'm sorry this is how you find out, but you do enjoy kissing the same gender as yourself. Outside of that, Toy Bonnie is not a bad pick, just an odd one. You're probably drawn to this character because on some level they are FNaF 2 to you. He's the best designed toy animatronic with the most unique identity among the main three. Not a bad choice, but you still are very, very gay, don't forget that. And you're probably also a fan artist. There is a dark side to Toy Bonnie though. There's a chance that you are an actual masochist. Anyone who's played FNaF 2's Golden Freddy mode knows that Toy Bonnie is the one to break a run. He is by far the most difficult character in the game to handle due to how long it takes to deal with him. If Toy Bonnie is your favorite for this reason, you might be the most wounded of warriors. Toy Chica. You disgust me. I'm kidding, if Toy Chica is your favorite, you are definitely one of the braver FNaF fans because you know the association and the reputation she has. You're probably the first person to chime in about how much those over-sexualized jokes suck. This also means you're probably really into Baby and Roxy. But your favorite is Toy Chica. You're definitely way into the fandom and write a ton of fanfic. You are almost definitely involved in shipping wars of some type, and your preferred robot to receive another robot's lips is either Toy Bonnie or another version of Chica. You might not be the most up-to-date on the lore of the series, and you definitely watch a ton of Has-Been Hotel or Murder Drones, media I'd call soft edgy. It's like pastel goth minus the goth and the pastel. Mangle. Mangle is a common enough pick that I feel that the type of person to pick Mangle is very broad, but I will say this is not Baby's first favorite animatronic. You are definitely involved in the fandom side of things to some degree. You insist that they are the one to have done the bite of 87, but you are also adamant that they are an innocent creature of no sin. No. You're also very well aware of and engage in frequent debates about Mangle's gender. You're adamant their one true gender is yes, and you do respect the pronouns Mangle uses, that being he and she. You may be transgender yourself. You're probably overcompensating Mangle's importance a little, but overall, you're a nice enough person who definitely knows their stuff. If you have any downside, it's probably your behavior on Twitter. Trust me, I get it. Twitter brings out dark sides of people, but you really should stop the moral grandstanding once in a while. Balloon Boy. You are the most obnoxious asshole on the face of planet Earth. I do not believe that Balloon Boy is your favorite. If you say he is, I know you're lying and I'm coming for you. Because you leave nothing but misery in your path. Who knows how many lives you've destroyed, families you've broken apart. I will stop you. JJ. Fuck you. The Puppet. This is another pretty common pick, and I'm gonna say this. If presently speaking the Puppet is your favorite character, you're probably well educated on their story and their importance. You love FNaF 2 plain and simple, and you see the Puppet as a sort of protagonist of the series, despite nearly every iteration actually directly attacking the player in some way. That said, you are also probably annoyingly edgy. You think FNaF has lost its horror touch, and you definitely hate a lot of current characters in the series. You wish things could go back to the good old days of FNaF 1 and 2, and probably just those 2 games, maybe 3 if it's lucky. You are a diehard old head, but hey, your dedication shows. Withered Freddy. This is an odd one to have as your favorite FNaF character. I'm sorry, it just is. You probably think Withered Freddy is the best Freddy design, and that's all he really has up on the original Freddy. So, my guess is you're just the Freddy guy from earlier in the video, but you've now played up to FNaF 2. I really got nothing. Withered Chica. You are based, but also probably get a lot of your opinions from other people. Up until fairly recently, I don't think anyone actually cared about Withered Chica. But then when a certain YouTuber happened to mention how scary she was, a ton of people started saying she was their favorite. Or at least, she was the scariest. You definitely harp on that Chica lore, we get it. She was the first, she saw everything, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't say you're annoying, but you're definitely hard to converse with because you don't usually bring your own opinions to the table, but instead make a mishmash of others' opinions to regurgitate. That said, having her be your favorite does imply you have some level of free will, so I'll say you haven't seen every MatPat video yet. I miss him. Withered Foxy. Welcome to wartime, brother. If you're a Withered Foxy fan, you were the Foxy fan from earlier, but your third eye has woken up. You see this as a superior Foxy, one with a much more daunting and scary mechanic, and one who is deserving of so much more love than they actually get. If Withered Foxy is your favorite, you are knee-deep in the trenches, treading mud and holding on for dear life. But I am here, my friend. I will pull you out of the mud. You are also probably gay. I don't make the rules. Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie is an easy fan favorite for sure. If this guy's your favorite, you're probably attracted to just how cool he is, although you definitely oversell how scary he is. He does have some great visuals. You're also probably not a fan of how he's been reduced to jokes about not having a face, and you're definitely big into analog horror and FNaF VHS. In this way, you're on the safer side of the edgy FNaF fan. Your favorite aesthetic is robots with some parts missing, and you definitely thought those shitty Photoshop edits of Withered Balloon Boy and stuff like that were cool. Above all else though, you stick by with the series. Picking Withered Bonnie as your favorite to me implies that you sat down and said, this design goes so hard. Oh, and you probably love Ignited Bonnie's jump scare punch. Withered Golden Freddy. Okay, here we go. Alright, I have to tell you, you are probably very annoying. Withered Golden Freddy in lore is just Golden Freddy again, so if you pick this version of the character as your favorite character in the entire series, you are just picking it to be different than the guy who picked regular Golden Freddy. As I said before, that guy kind of already sucks, so you're really not helping yourself out by being that guy's Shadow the Hedgehog. You definitely start fights. You're the first person in a theory's comment section to tell the theorists that they're wrong and stupid because they don't agree with you. I do not like you. That said, when you're right, and that only fuels your ego a bit more. So you keep liking this crustier Golden Freddy. You keep liking him, we all know what you are. Alternatively, you're one of MatPat's editors, and just like putting this guy in every FNaF thumbnail ever. Endo02. You aren't real, alright? Who the f picks Endo02 as their favorite character? I'm sorry. I just can't fucking Shadow Bonnie. This one seems kind of rare, but if you like Shadow Bonnie, you're probably someone who's really interested in a lot of the Easter eggs of the FNaF series. You take the time to learn about Remnant and you don't complain about the books. In fact, hide and seek was the best thing to ever happen to you. You're insanely chill and you don't pick fights. Why would you? Everything is open to interpretation to you. Now this does mean you can come off as a bit of a pushover, which to an extent you might be, but as a former Shadow Bonnie diehard myself, I can tell you it gets easier to stand your ground. To be completely honest, it's the mystery of the character that draws you in. I think you're probably a theorist and more interested in discovering how wide the mystery goes rather than actually solving any of it. You open more doors than you close. This can make people think you're a bit of a scatterbrain, but you're fully aware of what you're doing. This is just how you prefer to look at the series. This is where you and I differ. I still really like Shadow Bonnie, but he's no longer my favorite. I now prefer to actually solve some mysteries rather than leave things open-ended. Shadow Freddy. Okay, well, you're like the Shadow Bonnie fan, but a little bit weirder. Your choice of this of all characters is definitely strange. I have to admit, I don't think I've met a single person who's ever said Shadow Freddy is their favorite FNaF character. So to the one person out there where that's the case, I am so sorry. FNaF 3 is next. Springtrap. Let's be real, you are the cup of water and a piece of buttered toast, Cheerios and whole milk, unmarinated, unseasoned chicken, vanilla ice cream, Coca-Cola, cheese pizza, hamburger with no toppings, pasta with no sauce of the FNaF community. Whew, you are as cookie cutter as they come, and you're probably really angry about this on either Reddit or Twitter right now. You are the FNaF fan everyone can relate to, and thus, no one can relate to. Because even though on the outside you're just like them, on the inside, you're just like them. I'm exaggerating obviously, but Springtrap has to be the most commonly cited favorite FNaF character. At least up until Security Breach. What's not to love? He is by all accounts the main villain of the franchise pretty much, and he's got a great design and aesthetic. But that's just it. Saying Springtrap is your favorite is the most boring answer imaginable. I know nothing about you except that you're one of the sheep. I stand here and I say this most controversial of FNaF opinions. Springtrap is a little overrated. There, I said it. I await my crucifixion. Phantoms. I decided to end this one off. I'm just going to group all the Phantoms into one big pile of Phantom stew and ask you if any of these are your favorite. Do you need help? Oh, except for Phantom Balloon Boy. If this one's your favorite, you're probably the Balloon Boy guy from earlier, but you've since reformed and are in your Wasteland Wanderer era. And that just about does it for now. I'm sure that there's many of you I simply haven't gotten to yet with how many games are ahead of us. Maybe I did get yours, but now you want to see about your friend's favorite. Whatever the case, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.